Welcome back to Ulti.tv's coverage of Vienna Spring Break. We've brought you 7 enthralling, engaging contests so far, and here is number 8 on our final game for the day. We're in the open quarterfinals with the Panthers of Wrocław, Poland, taking on the Munich Ultimate Club from Munich in Germany. Benjamin Rees in the booth, joined once more by Corey Sostre. I'm hype. You hype?
I'm hype as well. I think at this point, we've said just about every word we can in the vocabulary to express how excited we are for today.
So there might just be some exciting noises at some points. That's fine. We'll make do. You've got M.U.C wearing the white and the Panthers in black. And it's M.U.C starting the game on offense.
Interestingly enough, too, I think, Benji, it's from a side stack.
And they threw right into that poach. There's a player down on the turf. And I think that's going to be an early injury call.
It looks like he was holding his neck and head. We hope that's good. That he's okay, I should say. Nice sportsmanship from both teams. Clap them off, make sure everything's all right.
Yeah, might just need to take a breather. And, of course, if there's feels any longer effects, then, you know, health is the most important thing. But it must be frustrating, first point in the game, to have to come off. So Panthers with a very early break opportunity now. They've just gone the near side here. Forced to go into the backfield. Expressive fake around, now they're going back up line. Options not there. Still count rises. Managed to get the disc off into tight pressure. Again, really just squeezing it right down this sideline all the way. Can they find a way to unpick the lock of this German defense? That time they nearly had it. They so nearly had it. And it just bounced out of the claw.
And interestingly enough, too, Benji, seeing M.U.C going into the side stack, they didn't do that the first game we televised with them. So it's interesting to kind of see they change their identity and hold this for the bracket play.
Getting a player in isolation underneath. Sits this throw towards the near side. There's the option there for the deep look. Can he bend it around the defender? Just about. And they were looking at the wrong line. That is a goal.
As you can see right there, too, from M.U.C, again, the side stack to come out. I saw them after the pull, and I was surprised. We saw them before. They'd thrown out horizontal stack. They saw some vertical, but the side stack was new for this game. They just had that in their arsenal. But as you can see right here, after the catch to get full length, you can see kind of the head turn. Not this one, I should say. After this one, with the deep player kind of giving that head nod, caught the defender on his heels, and then just slight communication between the teammates just to throw deep. Yeah,
and really good pressure, but better grab.
And then also credit to the M.U.C offensive defense on that point, too, to kind of prevent the break. And the Panthers had an opportunity in the end zone right there to get their first break, but M.U.C kind of forcing some difficult throws, forcing some difficult decisions, and paid off in the end to hold. What a nice shot by Nick right there.
Bossing it on camera 2 for this game. Felix on camera 1. Mike is somewhere. Here's the first 0 point for the Panthers. Brought a very large squad today, trying to utilize that to their advantage all weekend and in this game. Low throws scything through the defense towards the far sideline.
And right there, too, the Panthers kind of deserving of their name. They're rolling real fast up the line. Next thing you know, they're at the half-line point.
Here's the transition into match. And now that the Panthers have recognized that, they're going to change their offensive style as well.
Oh,
just trading tactics back and forth. Panthers have to go back towards midfield. Now they're dishing towards the far sideline, squeezing it down that break side channel, and we're level. It's 1 apiece.
And from that Panthers offense, too, it's just silky smooth, but also speedy as well, I should say. So it's just SSS, I should say. I keep saying that, but it just happened in a flash. They just moved it up the field. Next thing I know, they're at halfway point. They just keep facilitating that flow, just boom, boom, boom. end zone.
I love how vocal and communicative the sideline is, because everyone knew what the plan was, and when they wanted to transition, when they saw the transition, they picked that up, and everyone on the sideline was hearing it and saying, they've switched. We need to change it. Rather than staying in a more zonal shape, we want to go to our one-on-one defense, the offense we like to play when teams go one-on-one on us, and that's that vertical stack.
Precisely, just everybody committed to the game. Everybody's focused, because you have to have everybody within the game too. You can't have a few people just kind of nodding off, and that also helps. Exactly, and that helps with the numbers as well too, because then you can raise the intensity yourself. You don't have to worry about an audience or other people kind of watching. You can do it within yourselves.
There's no mark here for M.U.C, so just take your time. And what a bid! Nearly rescued, but damn, Panthers have got to they've got something to prove this game, and this would be a statement-making win for the Poles.
And even then, like you said, that interesting strategy of having no mark paying off like that for that incredible bid.
If there's no mark, don't force dangerous throws, and just go every other. But of course, it's easy to say that from here on the sideline.
Precisely. That's why we're not in the game.
No throw. Off the handler's hand. Thought about the deep look. It might still go. It is going to go. Maybe a little bit late, because the defender is there to close it and skies his receiver. Just should have gone a little bit earlier. Layout bid on the mark, doesn't get there in time, and the throw is caught deep for the Panthers for the game's first break. It's Panthers 2, M.U.C 1.
Shooter's going to shoot on that one too. We've seen it all game, but excellent effort on the mark too for M.U.C. And then also excellent effort for the Panthers player too. That kind of dropped the disc, came back on defense to get that and allow his team to get that score too. And as we have here, that's a Panthers break.
This Panther sideline is amped.
Electric.
They've got a lot of them have got this kind of blue tinted sun cream, trying to stop the glare and stop the sunburn as well.
And look fierce.
I found where Mike's gone, and he's got a special delivery from the car. Oh, you were not joking. These are. Yeah, I might pass, to be honest. But thank you, it's appreciated. This one's going deep. I think that's going to be too deep as well. The look was there, but the pressure such has forced him to rush that throw.
It was just carried right out the back. Now we have to see this M.U.C defense or offensive defense again to see if they can create any pressure and get this serve back, or maybe the Panthers can get another break.
So here's the Panthers trying to turn in another break. Throwing the disc nicely downfield. Raking inside shot. Somehow sticks in the grasp. Feels like the Panthers are playing with fire a little bit on some of these throws, but so far they're not getting burned. Got those asbestos fingers.
And they're not staying away from the danger too, because as you can tell, they're the key to keep throwing it, and it keeps working.
Nice little offhand into the break space. The continuation is there. Another break for Panthers. They're now 3-1 up. And I think that's actually 3 on the bounce now for them as well, because M.U.C scored the first. Since then, Panthers have really taken a bit of a stranglehold.
I think so. It's just seeing kind of the energy that this Panthers team is bringing in is electric. I mean, you can feel it all over the place.
I think there were discussions about whether or not they were going to call a timeout there, but in the end they think no, it's not quite crisis mode yet.
So you can say right now, too, for M.U.C, this is not the best of looks to start off the game as well, too. They've had a turn just about on almost all of their offensive points. Let's see if they can rekindle that energy, kind of refocus and get a point back so that way they can have their defense start out.
Yeah, seeing the women from the Panthers coming over to support, and that's another miscommunication. I thought he was just going to catch that and keep going, but actually chooses instead to pop one out of the sideline to give their offense a chance to set up. I'll be honest, I'd have much preferred him to catch it.
Me too, but hey, anything works, I guess.
Or alternatively, for someone in behind to catch it afterwards to prove that you'd always need to catch your Ds, but still, Panthers have it on the sideline. Inside break, doesn't get there. Should have caught it.
Should have caught it.
Catch your Ds. That's the lesson here. So second chance here for M.U.C on this 0 point. Trying to get it round out of a slightly crabby stance. And it's a bit behind the receiver who has to lay but still can't reel it in. Panthers really churning up yardage with these, it seems.
Honestly, I can't even tell. I mean, of course we can tell because we watched the point, but just the offense and defense for the Panthers looked very identical in their offensive schemes, just kind of catching the disc and continue flowing. Their fast break.
Travel called on that scenario, though.
Yeah.
Too much go and not enough throw, perhaps.
Deservedly so.
Disc is now checked back in. Inside, dished off again in tight spaces, but they're making it work. Now coming through underneath, just a little pop backwards, slightly fluttery, but no problems. All that flutterguts practice coming in handy. And zinging it towards that far cone. Another break for the Panthers. It's 4 on the bounce, so they lead 4-1.
That buttery inside, though, to get to the hockey assist was just, oh my gosh.
Ugh.
Chef's kiss.
Dude, give me the hands. You got it, buddy. You got it. I'll tell you what, it's Panthers side. They're on one, aren't they? They are absolutely on one.
It's just, it's suffocating out there right now for M.U.C. I mean, I think it's a nice timeout by them, M.U.C, to kind of recollect us to take a breather, realize kind of everything that's going on, because, yeah, the Panthers are just, they're kind of rocking and rolling right now.
Have a look at it on the replay. Just seeing a shot there of the huddles for the two sides. We're going to use this timeout to just take a little brief breather, but don't worry, we'll be back with you after these very quick messages.
We are a group of ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch.
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe, Ultimate TV, the best in the world.
Become a member and
fund our
work
to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the Ultimate world and beyond.
That is our mission here at ulti.tv, to bring you as much Ultimate for free, live and on demand as we can. And if you want to help us in that endeavour and join us, you can go to ulti.tv to find out more information and subscribe to our Patreon as well. And for as little as a few euros a month, if everyone was able to chip in that much, we could take our coverage to another level. And not the terrible 90s boy band. Although I'm sure they would enjoy our coverage just the same.
If they could sponsor.
Of course. Any slightly past it pop-backs out there who want to get an investment opportunity, give us a bell. So M.U.C. has that timeout pay dividends, work wonders, whatever you want to say. Can they finally punch it in and stop these Panthers breaks? Comes underneath. Just swinging back and forth. Set up relatively deep downfield, and so far they're just happy to play it between the handlers.
And as we saw the first game too, exactly what you said, enough space from the back.
And that one, I'm pretty sure, was not the intended target, but it works all the same. And the Munich Ultimate Club are back on the board, but they've still got themselves a little bit of a hole to come out of. They're 4-2 down.
And they'll take that all day too. But just kind of the analysis of that as well as seeing how they went back to that side stack as they began in the beginning of the game. I think the side stack works well for them against this Panthers defense too, because it makes you realize that isolation and then also having to take your person-to-person match defense significantly, because in a horizontal stack it's a little bit easier to kind of poach the unders or poach the overs, so you can kind of force that way, and you can still do that in the side stack too. However, in that side stack it's more going to be that match defense where you have to beat your person or you're just going to continue to get unders or kind of dictate that flow. So M.U.C, I think if they can stick with that on their offense and kind of get some stops on defense, they have a real shot to get back in this game.
Yeah, the Panthers O-line we haven't seen for a while, since the game's second point, but we're going to have a look at it here. In fact, that's the only time we've seen it this game. But confident catch of the pool.
I was about to mention that too. People think the catches look easy on the pulls, but that's because the players make them. If you drop a pull, oh my goodness.
You will be lambasted, not just from us in the booth, but from pretty much everyone.
It's not a good highlight to be on, I'll say that.
It's not great. Rory, not great.
No?
I understand. They've done it. This one, no, he chased it, but it was always, I think, tailing off out of bounds. So a break chance now, with the Panthers though coming in a little bit cold perhaps. Didn't get that one right. Can M.U.C eat away at that gap? Cutters look a little bit discombobulated. They're not a huge number of options, but a raking inside flick across the pitch there to open things up. But again, they're not finding the movement, that connectivity downfield. Everything's at 6s and 7s. It's not quite on the same page. Coming underneath, overthrown. That's going to give the turn back to the poles.
And let's see what the M.U.C defense has to offer as well. They forced a turn the first time for the Panthers. Maybe they can continue that as well too. And even here you can see the Panthers are even tried a nice side stack there.
And they're going to use it to isolate that cutter deep. And I think, you know, I love that he's trying to take it as early as possible. But actually, he just gave himself too much to do there. You think he already had those steps with the disc tailing over towards that side of the field as well. Maybe he didn't have to take it so early.
I completely agree. He only had one step before he got into the end zone as well too. And not to say that's the only purpose to catch deeps, but he could have let that road out a little bit more. But now it results in a good punt for the Panthers, but an interesting M.U.C defensive offensive point.
Underneath, huge bid comes through, but a brilliant catch under tight pressure. And again, they're squeezing it down the sideline. You can hear the volume of both sides coming through our field microphone.
And on those previous points, you can see as well with, good stack. Wow. With the M.U.C offense, just sticking to that side stack as we talked about previously.
Trying to lead the dump out into space. A little bit awkward, but made it work. He's got the swing available. Needs to take that earlier. Good switch there to prevent the that upline cut going. And now they're dishing it off again, trying to really utilize their dumps, not just as a reset, but as a real focal point of the offense. Again, M.U.C, every time it's 2 steps forward and 1 step back. That's fine, but they need to make sure that they keep possession, and they need to punch it in at the end. Still not quite in. That one's going to work. They get a break back. 4-3.
And you can just see how much it means to the M.U.C teammates as well, too. Just to finally get that break, finally be successful on the defense. They had 2 stops at this point just to make sure that they can get that and get right back in the game, too. And again, just kind of utilizing that side stack and believing in their players as well.
And Mike has retrieved the crew a beverage from one of Austria's finest ale houses, by which I mean the bar just over to our left.
Spring break?
Spring break, baby. I will say, I have seen numerous people coming out of the bar with numerous glasses of beer, and that's what you want from an early season tournament, a chance to, you know, really enjoy and soak up the atmosphere after, you know, it feels so long since we've had tournaments like this.
And I was about to say, too, just the whole concept of having beverages and everything out the pint, too, it's nice to see. But what's also nice to see is this Panthers offense. Ooh.
I think that one caught him more than he caught it.
Yeah.
Dishing it around the back. Now coming underneath, this is lovely flow. And I'm saying that not because it's the name of the Wrocław mixed team, but it just dovetailed like that nicely. Using that leftiness to manipulate the mark around. Again, give going, powering up line, but it doesn't go. Instead, the blading backhand around. Sitting it on the wind, into the center of the pitch. Still not there, but they're staying patient, utilizing those resets. This is what M.U.C did well when they scored last time out. And now it's Panthers' turn to demonstrate that maturity in the red zone. Well, it's much more fun if they just bang it in there. But they're staying patient, staying to their fundamentals. On the far sideline. Still the Panthers have it, and they just about retain it. Inside shot is beautiful, and it's still not in, despite what the sideline thinks. They almost rushed the field. Just on the doorstep, that one's gonna work. Panthers back on the board, it's 5-3.
And that was a nice Panthers point to facilitate, kind of get their swagger back a little bit even then too. And I really enjoyed the end zone offense. They had a nice handler connection, but then also to involving the cutters and just kind of getting that space open and just working that point until they could finally find the nice window to get there.
There's a real buzz around. You're getting some of the women as well who finished their games for the day. Coming, you know, they're getting going back to the tents, ready to, you know, watch these final games. It's a lovely vibe.
It really is.
And it's funny because generally there's just a good atmosphere all around, but on each individual field, the matchups are being played with such intensity.
There hasn't, at least from what we've seen today, every game has been competitive. Hasn't been anybody laying down. Just kind of happy to be here vibe, but also an intense, we're here to prove something vibe as well too.
M.U.C put it deep. It's coming towards this sideline and it's well caught. Not in just yet, but really could not be much closer without being in the end zone. Want the players to clear out to open up that space, and they got suckered into the front cone, and the disc is bladed expertly around them into the back of the zone for the score. 5-4 now.
Benji might get on me for this one too, but that's probably one of the only instances where the front of the cone doesn't win that time. And just kind of poaching and trying to take that away, realize as you leave the back open.
But it's one of those things, they're so focused on stopping that throw there. That second player gave in, and maybe they didn't need to. But actually, it's still a difficult throw to execute, but it was pulled off to perfection.
It really is. It's not as easy as it looks. And I mean, hats off to all the players today that made these throws look easy, the hammers, the dives, and everything like that. But that's a pretty difficult throw to hit, especially an OI flick in the wind.
Yeah, it's really easy for the wind to just see that face and be like, oh, this is mine, and just push it out of the sideline.
This one's for me. M.U.C trying their hand on defense right now. See if they can get a nice break to tie everything back up.
Ball lands just side the end zone, fielded, and we're off to the races.
A nice recovery by the Panthers as well.
We'll say something that we were talking about yesterday is the delayed World Games are taking place this year in Birmingham, Alabama. And last time it was held in Poland, in Wrocław, and as the host, the Poles got a spot. And that really, I think, helped propel the don't want to say legitimacy, that's a bit unfair, but it gave a little bit of a spotlight to Polish Ultimate, and they blossomed under it. Full credit to them. Made the most of that opportunity.
As we see here, the Panthers kind of getting a call out, talking after the call, but also having that side stack as well, trying to utilize their matchups. I wouldn't be surprised to see somebody go deep right now.
Going round that far side, and it sneaks through the fingers. Should have gone deep.
Yeah.
Yep. We know what we're talking about.
Or we wouldn't be here. Huh?
Yeah, there's definitely no other reason why we would be here. Not availability, not at all. Hey, availability is the best ability, that's what I was told. On the far sideline. Trying to sneak that one in there, it's going to ricochet to the turf. Thought it was just going to sit up there a little bit longer and tease someone into getting in for a bid, but in the end, couldn't quite reach its target.
Let's see if the Panthers can utilize this point as well, too. Right the ship.
Dishing that one right on the sideline. They know they want to get it off. High release. Well read. Continuing around towards the center of the pitch. Just behind the breakboard. Get a hand block. Will shut the door emphatically. M.U.C says no.
Taking a little time before the disc, but as you can see now, where M.U.C, M.U.C is matching the energy that the Panthers brought before, where you could just feel that energy from the Panthers kind of suffocating you. M.U.C has responded well, and we can see if they can punch it in right here.
They're right on the doorstep now. A little bit of give-go up the line, or thought it was going to go, but the handler wasn't looking in that direction. Instead, they are going to squeeze it into the front cone, making it stick. We're level pegging. It's 5 apiece. What a game, Corey. What a game.
What a game. What a break. Both teams are in it right now. They're getting invigorated. They're getting excited. That's what Ultimate is about. This is the quarterfinals.
This is the intensity for the quarterfinals. We've got semis and finals tomorrow.
Oh, my goodness. I don't know if we're going to make it. We got to check our blood pressure tomorrow.
It's all right. We've only got 4 games.
Only 4.
Yeah, I know. Compared to, that's half as many games as today. Quick maths.
Quick maths.
But we hope you will join us for all of those. As soon as we know what those matchups are that we will be streaming, we will, of course, let you know. I will just tell you some timings, because I figure that they may be useful. So our games tomorrow are at 9 o'clock. We've got open semi at 9 o'clock, and then a women's semi at 10:30. Games at 80 rather than 70 minutes tomorrow, and then we get a little bit of a break. Actually, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, and we will have. I think so, and then we'll negotiate that. And then open final starts at 1:30, and the women's final starts at 3 o'clock.
And I'll tell you, Benji, as the wind is kind of kicking in, it's the sun setting a little bit here in Vienna. This game is keeping us hot. It's keeping us fiery and passionate right now. I'm boiling right now. And like you said, it's only the quarterfinals.
That and my nice cold beer is actually getting a little bit of warmth in the blood. Which, I'm not complaining about. Thanks, Mike. I would like to say that if you want to become a part of ulti.tv, you can find out more information on our website. You can support us remotely by becoming a patron, by pledging as little as a couple of euros a month. Help us bring more Ultimate. Or if you want to, you want to help out. This sounds like the sort of thing you want to do. You want to get involved. You can find more information on our website. We've got an ulti.tv Discord as well. And we are always looking for more keen, enthusiastic, media-minded Ultimate people. to help take our coverage to the next rung of that ladder. So Panthers still a break up here. Even if they're level on the scoreboard. Again, they're just free-flowing down the pitch easily, quickly, never keeping the stall count higher than a couple of seconds. And if you want to show someone how do you play small ball offense, that's a good example.
Right then and there, Panthers take care of business real fast, real easy. Even then, I was having difficulty trying to catch up to see where the movements were going.
And if you're trying to do it and you're on the sideline, you can just watch. Imagine trying to track it on the field.
Precisely, as you can see right here in this replay, it's just one hit after another. Just beautiful cut right there, and then another beautiful cut right there. There's nobody there.
God, this frisbee game seems easy. I should try it.
Maybe we should jump in, yeah?
It's not as easy as they make it look.
No, not at all.
Especially not when you're facing teams like this as well, and you know how good the defense can be.
And it's a physical game. People are laying out, people are speeding by, they're putting bodies on bodies. Again, it's a non-contact sport, of course, but
allegedly.
It's just alleged. And that just hit one of the tents.
It's not the best pull of the day.
Not the worst either, right?
No, it actually might be the worst.
That we've seen, yeah.
Yeah. Someone had to be. It was that guy.
He'll make up for it later.
I think he was getting heckled by his sideline saying it's not pool play anymore. Little inside break to start for the Munich Ultimate Club. You can see there's a little bit of physicality on defense, but they're riding through those bumps. Squirrels 3 finds that reset. Good inward pivot there from the handler, just saying that's the player I want, so why am I looking downfield? Really open up my hips and square up against this mark, and there's a call downfield. Again, people think about a pivot just being forwards or backwards, but you've got a full 360 degrees to work through. And that time, you've isolated your other handler as the reset. Why am I looking downfield, square and face them properly, and give yourself so many more angles to release the disc from?
Brilliantly put, Benji. Because you have to open up those windows, and if you don't open those windows, you're missing opportunities.
Nice leading throw to the break side. Continuation there. Sneaking it in there. Plucking it out of the sky with the right hand, and we're knotted up once more. It's 6 apiece. Good game. Really good game, isn't it?
Great game. Great game. We've been blessed today.
Hashtag blessed.
Hashtag Lads on Tour. As we can see here, the M.U.C team is just going with the challenge, realizing we have a place here. We're going to cement our place here.
After they were rocked early, they could easily have, maybe folded a little bit, but they took the timeout, and that really actually did reset their headspace, I think. It's a good decision.
I definitely think so as well. And now we can see how the Panthers are going to respond to this as well. See if they can go up to 7 or maybe give up that break.
Yeah, it's the boxing phrase, styles make fights.
Yes.
It's one of those games, isn't it, where you've got two sides who are they're going at it blow for blow, and they share a lot of similarities. They like playing this tight defense. They like quick disc movement and utilizing the break side.
And again, that's just what I really enjoy about this game too. Is I'm gonna keep raving about it. I really like this side stack from both teams because
what a grab!
What a way to contort your body like that. But just a way to kind of isolate your matchups, make you win them.
Again, the risk, of course, is that you get everyone on one side of the field, you know where they're going to cut, and it's right in that middle space. But if you space it correctly, you can still find those gaps. Both sides have really utilised that inside backhand, and they're doing it again! With the front flip roly-poly for maybe a little bit of showboating. Why not?
What a throw to space. And we're not talking galaxy points just yet. There might be one.
I mean, both sides have played with that intensity all throughout this contest, for my money.
Yeah.
Puerto Rico Grandes versus Foy's going on the pitch. Beyond this one. That's the one I've been looking for all day. Beyond. Not behind. Beyond.
Beyond.
The great beyond. A little bit of a wind whipping through. And with the sun, you know, kind of dipping beyond the horizon behind us. This time I do mean behind. It is, yeah, it's getting a little bit cooler.
Yeah, just a bit nippy right now, yeah.
And we've got a timeout between the two teams here.
And just seeing Munich's first timeout and how they came out and responded from there, it's going to be interesting. I'm really excited to see how they're going to respond this time as well, because this is such an important point.
Yeah, it's interesting actually when you see how timeouts can affect teams in game, whether that affects how you use your timeout. Because if you think, well, they used it really effectively, do we want to use ours? Because again, it might give them that extra surge of momentum. It's an interesting quandary.
It really is. As we see Munich lined up, ready to go, take on the next point. And the Panthers are breaking for half, or breaking the huddle, excuse me. Getting a little ahead of myself.
Yeah, both sides getting ready to go. Getting their 7 on the line. Ready to pull and to receive the pull, respectively.
And both teams are ready to duel.
Players trudging back to their tents behind us. Can see someone's blown up a big double mattress. I'm disappointed they're not going to try and surf that down the hill, in my opinion.
Be interesting to see.
Here's the pull. It's a low one. Probably not what they were aiming for. M.U.C might have a chance to get this in play quickly and steal a few yards, but they're not ready and they're not waiting for it because they were waiting for that side stack to set up. But they've got the player going deep. The throw's gone. On the money! We're going to Galaxy Point once more.
Shooters shoot for Galaxy points. Let's go.
I must admit, when they, you know, when they waited, they dithered to get the offense in motion because they wanted to get the side stack set up. I was a little bit worried because I always think it's a bad idea to look off open passes. But they had a play in mind and they ran it to perfection, to their credit.
Precisely, and even then too, a thing that's kind of taking over right now and just giving me a little worry from this Panthers offense is the pulls. The pulls, the past 2 ones, have either been out of bounds or really low in kind of just 3/4 of the field, kind of giving that advantage. And we emphasized earlier just how important pulls really are.
Honestly, given that they seem really determined to set up these strict disciplined side stacks, maybe pulling it a bit shorter, just making sure it's not brick so they can't set them up as easily. Not necessarily the worst strategy, question mark?
I think so. I think you raised a really good point there. Yeah.
I would actually be thinking about getting a blade to roll out of the sideline. Because that way, again, it's a lot harder to get those side stacks to work if the disc's in the same place as where one of those stacks is.
Exactly.
So here we go, Galaxy Point with the Panthers starting on offense, trying to take a break with them into the second half. Do the old 2 for none, 2 possessions back to back, without the opponent getting a sniff. Let go deep. There's an under option. Thought he'd look a little bit of time to look at it, but eventually he finds it. Now they're getting momentum going towards the end zone. Slowing down a little bit, but taking the reset. Staying patient. Nice little inside break again. Both sides have used those effectively. And such a nonchalant, almost lackadaisical hop into the end zone. Brings Galaxy Point to a close. And it is Panthers who will take the narrowest of leads into the second half. Your halftime score is Panthers 8, M.U.C 7. Brilliant first half, Corey. Brilliant first half.
I mean, exactly. What could you want more from a quarterfinal? Both teams kind of showing to the passion. Panthers taking an early lead, keeping that enthusiasm up. Munich going down early, but keeping their enthusiasm up, their energy up as well, too, to come back and make it neck and neck. Panthers just sticking to what they have and just making it a brilliant half. I'm excited to see what the second half has to offer.
Yeah, Corey and I are going to slap each other around the face for a minute or so we can get the blood pumping for the second half. In the meantime, we're going to take ourselves off air for a minute or so and play some messages in the meantime while we do so. But don't go anywhere, because the second half of this brilliant quarter-final continues after the break.
The ultimate things in life are free, and we're keeping it that way. Subscribe to keep up with the latest games, tournaments, and community content. Share it with your team and friends, and drop a like to help spread Ultimate to more people. Spread the word, spread the love. Ultimate.tv.
You know what I'm going to say by now. It's Vienna Spring Break. We're Ulti.tv, and it's the Open quarterfinals with Panthers from Wrocław in Poland taking on M.U.C, the Munich Ultimate Club of Germany. Benjiri's in the booth alongside Corey Sostray, but a brilliant first half here, befitting of the occasion. And we're going to see, well, if the second half can deliver anywhere near as much as the first, could be an absolute barnstormer.
Even then, too, I think both teams just kind of feel the passion, feel the excitement for this game. Quick halftime to kind of get things started up. They don't want to lose momentum.
No, and it's only an early season tournament, maybe quote unquote warm-up tournament. The intensity that both of these sides have shown, you wouldn't know it as a brilliant ball pins them in the back of the end zone. Gets me going. Panthers, all that throws behind, but that's a spectacular snag to bring it in. Looks frustrated. There was no movement afterwards. Panthers going one break up into the second half and trying to make that count now. They scored the point going into half. Clean as you like. Can they do it with the second? No! Miscommunication.
As you can see here, Munich players pumping their fist at that miscommunication, letting their defense take over, see if they can get a break to knot it up.
Yeah, the disc went down the Jubilee line and the player cut down the Bakerloo. I don't know Polish transport systems well enough to make a joke about them. Oh, cheeky, devilish little inside flick there. Lunschmeyer. It's the reset behind. Marshalling to try and get cutters closer to the disc, everything too far away. And they're really poaching and sagging into these underneath spaces, the Panthers.
And as you can see, this Munich defense just getting tired.
Yeah, they finally got a cutter going deep, but the Panthers were ready for it, and three players had their hands up in the midfield. One of them just got a fingertip on it, enough to stop it going to target. And now the big Cats are back on offense. Underneath! Knocked away! Lunschmeyer showing his pedigree again. This time it's deep, towards the back cone, looking for Wallace, and I don't know whether he would have been bounds anyway, but it's a catch you really got to make just in case.
Precisely, but I really do like this deep shot right here, as you can see in this replay. Just take the opportunities where you get them. It's hard for this Munich offensive presence right here to kind of get that. As it looks, yeah, didn't want to spill any of the pints.
No, now that's commitment I can really respect. Cutter's gone deep. Nice switch to make sure that the deep throw isn't thrown. Instead they go into the backfield, working it underneath. Again, they're happy to recycle the disc until they can get the bigger gainers that they want. Just about sneaks it past the defender's hands. Underneath cut, goes to ground. Force scrambles back into position. Taking the recess. You can hear the intensity from both sidelines. Trying to convey as much useful information as they can without confusing the pitcher. Nice grab behind the back. And this is a little bit of a win, I think, for Munich to make the Panthers take the time out on the first point of the second half.
I completely agree with you right there, and just the intensities too. Both teams' handlers are really working at trying to get one over each another. Excuse me, I can't talk right now. Just too excited.
Just get some water on. Stay hydrated, you'll be fine.
You're right, you're right.
Unfortunately, I often am. It's very annoying. Both sides in their huddles, conveying that information, trying to pick apart their opponents. Seal a place in the semi-finals tomorrow, and with the potential, let me put my teeth back in, potentially with the opportunity to be restreamed again as well. Not that that's at the forefront of the minds, what will be the Vienna Spring Break Trophy. Add their name to the list of winners. M.U.C break their huddle first. Poised, ready and waiting for their Polish opponents to take their positions. Get on their marks. Trying to drag every last drop of water out of the little canteen to our left. It's that kind of game. This is going to be checked back in with the Panthers in a vertical set. Player slips, still manages to get the disc underneath. There's going to be a pick downfield though that will bring a temporary stoppage to proceedings. Check back in and immediately dished off, keeping that still count live. Zipping a low release underneath. Dished off. High release flick, or tried to wrap his hands around it and couldn't. Thought he was going to go big. Decides against it, probably wise. This one is put deep, past the receiver. Just too far. Defense gobbles it up.
And honestly, Benji, I really don't hate that look either. If you can shoot it down deep and you've been making some turns off of this Panthers offense, you can keep that going.
Yeah, they're giving their players the license to do so. Backing their playmakers to make those plays. Not a lot going on downfield again. They're keeping it on the sideline. Floating this one up for the handler on the far side. Elevates nicely to make the grab. This is a real slog of a point. Proper slobber knocker, and the little lead hammer is too far. There could be the opportunity to strike quickly. They weren't quite ready for it. Instead, they get the centering pass. Fake deep once, fake deep, not that time. It's thrown, and it's gone into the end zone. We are level again. It's 8 apiece.
And really right there, you can see the M.U.C utilizing their timeouts, coming out of it again with another break. That is what you like to see right there if you're that Munich team.
They are going to need one more break to swing things in their favour. But every time it feels like a team might potentially pull away, they've been clawed back. It is that sort of game. It is so tight between these two teams, and the first 16 points has bore that out. There are some pretty pointed discussions on the sideline in front of us.
Unfortunately, I cannot translate that for you, but what I can translate was about to happen on this point right here.
No, I will try and learn very, very basic Polish before next week. I do not expect it to go well. As long as I can order a round of beers for the crew, I'll be all right.
Yep.
Oh, didn't field that pull properly. Did he doink it? Did he get the touch on it? I think he did.
I think he did, Benji.
And that's coming from the back. Get a decent gain there, and they're still in their own end zone. This is what happens if you can be pinned at the back. Nick standing on his chair to get a better view. Still within the shadow of their own end zone. Little flick with the heel there. Trying to get a cheeky football perhaps. Disc is going to go back, maybe a little push off from the receiver in that handler set. So it's still on the sideline here.
coming in at 5, it looks like, too.
They do, though, get the reset off at the second attempt. Now trying to muscle their way underneath. Fakes. High release into that space. There's a reset available. Wisely take it. Still, they look downfield. Tied into a handler space. Winds up, uncorks an absolute rocket. But actually could have done with a little bit more off it because it was too far.
And it looks like a pick was called as well, but
I don't think that affected it.
no, I don't think so either. Yeah, that looked uncatchable anyway.
Yeah, the question is how early it happened. Well, I don't think that was ever being caught necessarily.
And right now, this Munich aura is just kind of pushing back against the Panthers. It's resembling what they had earlier, but just now it's swinging the whole momentum towards their side. It seems like things are just kind of going their way. They're making things happen. They're getting the turns. They're punching it in. They're converting. What else could you want?
So both sides are happy for the disc to go back to the thrower. And that's where it'll be. High release backhand into the center of the pitch. Fakes the big. The option was there to throw it, but he decides to holster on this occasion. This time another deep shot goes again, keeping it away and drop the catch on the sideline. And that time the turnover's going to stand. So Munich will have the disc with a chance to regain the lead. A very extended up line cut goes, gets the disc, turns, pivots back inwards. Oh, the audacity of that flick. Can't punch it in though. Might have to go backwards here. Turns, isolates the reset, gets it off. Again, they're still looking on that inside. They've got the handler mark sagging off into that space to try and prevent it. Now they're working towards this near side instead. Cut goes up line, and it sticks. Munich take the lead at 9-8.
And that's a break. They come in twos right after half. You couldn't have wrote it better for Munich. As we see right here, the Panthers even trying to sag off and kind of poach both defenders so that way they could have their nice facilitation of handlers. But even then, it still wasn't enough.
And this might be a bit of a worry for Panthers, given how they've utilised them so far. Munich are taking a timeout. I wonder if this is an effort to keep, another strong lineup, give those guys a little bit of rest, because they feel they can potentially pull away a little bit here. We've got about 18 minutes left.
Sorry about that. We just had a Panthers player come and ask how much time we have remaining. I think so as well, too. Just kind of, calming things back down. It's always an important tactic to call the timeout when things aren't going your way. Just make sure you rebuild that confidence, that energy you had beginning, because that energy was invigorating to begin. So if they can get that momentum, kind of get that earlier energy back, they're still back in this because they're only 1 point down.
Oh, yeah, there's plenty of time left in this contest.
Oh, yeah.
You hold your own here and, you level again. It is that sort of game, and that's what you want in a quarterfinal. And by the way, quarterfinal on the far pitch. Looks like it's 8-all as well. So, that's what you want, isn't it? Nice tight quarterfinals.
Yeah.
Makes it exciting.
It really does. And as we've been saying the past 2 points, the Panthers offense comes back on the field, looking for a result.
Here's a big inside-out backhand pull from Munich, trying to get it to sail back inbounds, but it never actually has that edge. Drifts out on the far side. They must have gone out reasonably early on because they're bringing it all the way to the halfway line. And putting it up instantly, wanting to end this point with a dagger and an absolute massive humanity underneath it and a reasonably heavy collision to boot. Bit of a hospital pass. It's going to be a discussion about what the outcome is. You see it again there. It's a bit of a cluster, to be honest. I'm not going to say the second word of that because you know what I mean anyway, and I don't want to get censored. Some Wrocław players over our shoulders trying to get a second peek at it.
Sorry, Panthers, do you want to watch the replay? Panthers? Panthers, do you want to watch? You want to watch? No? You don't have to. What do you think? Tell me. No, you should watch. It's not up to me.
Mike is trying to see if any of them want to have a look at it. I think they asked him for his opinion, and he's like, it doesn't matter what I think. In the end, they're going to let the turnover stand, I think, and to be honest, when there's that many people underneath it, whatever the players are happy with, I'm happy with, to be honest, and I know that sounds like a cop-out, because it is a little bit, but that's the important thing here, that the players will come to a resolution that they're happy, and there's no resentment between the two sides.
Now they're also safe too, because that did look, like you said, a hospital pass right there.
Got cutters going deep, but they don't like it. Again, trying to crank that pressure dial up slightly. Getting it underneath. It's a tiny bit late. Swung into the centre end again. Now on the far side. Edits the cut towards that break side. Cutter comes underneath into the open side space. Little dish there, perhaps no. Cutter clears out. Work towards the far side. Continuation! And just enough pressure there to prevent the disc going to hand. Panthers not giving it up without a fight.
It might have been an intimidation D right there too, just kind of being on his back, feeling the pressure, like Benji said, and just realizing you can get the D off of that. Now the Panthers have a long way to get to the end zone, but they can do it, as they've shown before.
What, 10 minutes left in this game, a little bit more?
Yeah.
It's tight. Oh boy, it's tight. Fakes the hammer. Puts it away, back in the toolbox. We'll live to see another day. After they threw it away on the first pass, with the first possession of this point, they're a little bit eager to be a bit more conservative with their options this time. Visible frustration there, not liking the movement downfield. It looks a little bit fatigued, as you might expect. That lactic acid building up in the legs. Blades, indoor style, down the far sideline. Rips it deep, but the defender's right there. Ill-judged option. Both sides try and transition from one side to another. Cutter takes off deep. On the far sideline. I think Alcock's a little behind. Apparently there's just under 8 minutes left. Open side to the cone.
And it looks like they're a pick called.
It is going to be a pick. And again, good use of hand signals, because they were very clear about that one. Checked back in, and they're going to score on the first pass anyway. Not the same player, but the same result. Munich 3 consecutive breaks to start this second half, and they've gone from being 8-7 down to 10-8 up. And there's about 7 minutes left.
Just seeing that too, this Munich defense really picking up the slack before, just kind of digging deep to get 3 straight breaks off of this half. I don't think we could have called this before.
They've just found another. They've just found somewhere else to go. They've gone to that place.
And with that being said, they've also had 2 timeouts this specific half, and Munich have come out on top both timeouts.
Yeah. Their opponents called one and they called one. And neither seem to really halt Munich's momentum.
Yeah.
That most fickle of things, if it even exists. Which, the jury's out, in my opinion. This time it's going to be a blading backhand pull. Land shy the end zone because if they had trouble fielding it last time from that direction, this one's dealt with a lot more competently. Kind of goes off deep again. Pumps the fake, doesn't like it. I think a good holster on that occasion.
Yes.
Interesting look, a couple of players there to collect the blade, but he found the space and he utilised it well. Getting a little bit creative. Now's the deep look. He's got the space, he's got the matchup, and they've got the goal as well. Panthers back on the board, but they're still a point down. Currently Panthers 9, M.U.C 10.
And that was nice for the Panthers too, to kind of revert back to what they had at the beginning of the game, have some smooth offense, get a nice deep look there too, and just to also stop the bleeding so that way their defense can have a nice time getting out there, kind of giving them a break on the offensive side as well.
You see it again. Just waited that time rather than just putting it early. Just waiting for the opportunity to present itself. And boy, did it present itself. Taken well.
Do you know how many times left?
And you can see here too, just we have Panthers players, we have Munich players asking how much time is left. That's just how much it means to them to get everything off.
We've given the scoreboard a little jolt, so to speak. It's now accurate. Here's M.U.C on offense. We haven't seen this for a while. Actually, haven't seen this half.
Oh.
Haven't seen M.U.C come out on offense and the Panthers come out on D. Such is the way it's gone since the interval. They're going to put it deep. They found a matchup they like. They're isolating it in the back corner. And he climbs the ladder and posterizes, but I think there's going to be a foul called, saying there was maybe a little bit of contact climbing on that back shoulder. I see his point.
I do as well.
He's definitely got the height, he's got the aerial matchup, but there is contact in the back. As to how much that affected it, I can't say, because it's one of those feel things.
Well, that is true. What I can say is he got up on the Panthers defense right there, even with the mismatch.
And looks like number 73 Holzer has had a look at the replay, and he was going over, and they've talked about it and retracted the foul call. I'm not sure what their teammate was going to tell them, but again, every time you see two sides come to an amicable resolution, it is to be commended and applauded.
Agreed.
Because especially in tight contests, sometimes it can get a little bit het up.
That's vision! That's vision! That's vision!
Panthers looking for the break, and they won it all. From end zone to end zone, not quite, but on the doorstep, thinks about the dish and thinks better of it. Goes back to the kitchen. What can they cook up? To the break side. We're level again. It's 10-all. What a game!
What a game, and we have just about 2 minutes left too.
Wow. Well, it ain't over till it's over. And let me tell you, It ain't over.
It ain't over.
It ain't over. I can't read words at this point. We're 8 games deep. It's escaping me a little bit, but
keep it simple. It ain't over.
Yeah. Just think about it. You know how tired we are? We've been sat on the sideline. Like, we're invested, but not in the same way the players are invested. Because let me tell you, they will be exhausted. And it's about finding the mental and physical reserves that you didn't quite know you had.
Couldn't have said it better, especially for right now at this moment, because you're playing for a semifinal and a final championship potentially tomorrow, so you got to give everything you got because it's not promised.
Yeah, sometimes you'll give it your all, you'll give it your best, and it's not quite good enough, and that's fine. But you never want to leave feeling like you could have done more.
Exactly.
Lay down the sideline, Macked out the side. Potentially a foul call, a slap on the back of the hand. Uncontested. Even in such tight circumstances, spirit prevails.
And now as we count down to about 40 seconds left in the game.
Oh, he faked the hammer, had it biting. Squirms underneath, pass through. Pick downfield. And they caught that rather quickly. It's not a pick, actually. I take that back. It's an injury. I misread the hand signal. And he's limping off a little bit. Maybe just tweaked it on landing slightly. Getting a replacement on. Expecting to hear the hooter any second now. Swing around the far side. Back central. Really utilising the width. That one, little riser at the end, but he read it well. Going back up line, they try and get the switch. He wants to milk it into the end zone, but it's not quite there. Had to skim it a little bit, and that one popped in for the goal. 11-10 Munich lead. Still awaiting that hooter.
Actually, during that point, they went off right when they caught it at the edge.
Did you hear it? I didn't hear it.
I heard that, I believe that is.
Cap 12.
I think Cap is at 12 though, since the point was playing.
Yeah, so I think they seem, Munich seem to think it's game to 12 here, with them 11-10 up. Yeah, so they're just confirming the cap rules.
As we see here too, just a lot of confusion, just a lot of
clarification about exactly when the cap went off, because often you're so locked in and focused on the game, you don't hear it.
Exactly, we're focused commentating on the game, and we still are trying to figure out the rules as well. So,
but I will say that I've got headphones on, so
yeah,
that's why I didn't hear it. But you did hear it. Nick heard it. We were monitoring it.
We've got ears all over the pitch.
And we haven't even got the roaming microphone out. So Munich can end it with a break here. Panthers can march it down and hold. We'd go to Universe for the second quarterfinal in a row.
I was about to say, a Galaxy and a Universe point 2 times in a row. No more time limits, just straight play. If Munich can get this stop in this break, it's game.
But they're going deep. They're going very deep. It's going to be defenders and receivers there. What a catch! Unbelievable! That is how you bring up sudden death Universe point.
Galaxy to Universe and back-to-back quarterfinals. What else do you want?
Well, last game, Fab were ahead Fab won Galaxy and Universe. This time Panthers were ahead at Galaxy. Whether they can win it on Universe remains to be seen, but they'll have to break if they are to do so.
Precisely. It's going to be interesting to see kind of what tactics, what agendas we can see come out of both teams. Everybody's leaving it on the field. You can see people limping all over the place. The lactic acid building up, the injury sustained from this, but they're leaving it all on the field for this 1 point.
Both sides getting their sudden death 7 out there.
And as we cut to the pitch behind us, it looks like the Grande scored another point. Is that correct?
I think that is Costa Rica Grandes. Almost. I think they might actually have sealed a semi-final spot with a big victory over Foy there. A little bit of an upset brewing. Well, not brewing, it's fully brewed and it's ready to serve on the far pitch. Meanwhile here, both sides with their sudden death 7 outs. Yeah, quote-unquote universe lines. With a semi-final place on the line. The lefty backhand pull, Blades, caught. Munich. Can they ride the pressure? Can they stay cool and calm and collected? Or do they go for that one incisive blow? Down the sideline, bid comes in, it's not there, but recovers to get back in position. Stall out called and uncontested.
What defensive pressure from the Panthers right there. Oh my goodness, to get an uncontested stall.
I will say, it felt like a quick 10 seconds, but it was uncontested. I guess, you know, if everyone's been stalling at that speed all game, you take it. Panthers, they want to end it all with a big shot towards the back of the end zone, and it's overthrown.
Just getting a little trigger happy right there, but that's sticking to their game. Now we can see Munich, see if they can build up all the way down. They got a road ahead, but they can build it. Like we said, sticking to the side stack like they had all game, trying to utilize their matchups.
The Panther sideline is loud. It is a little bit intimidating, and that's what they need here. Cause as much confusion and disruption as they can with this German offense. Nice little blade to utilize that poach on the far side. Coming underneath, just give it off. No. Holding while the cutter clears out. The swing. Now fine turning underneath option. It's a little bit underthrown, but gets there nicely enough. Decent gain down this near sideline now. Stalkout rises, turns, isolates the reset, gets the inside off into the center of the pitch under really sticky defense, clamming them up. Working it underneath. Into opposition territory now for the first time on Universe Point. It's going to be a little upline cut that goes.
And it looks like M.U.C sticking to their bread and butter right now, working through their handlers.
Swings around, gets a little bit of space. There's not so much pressure on the mark, and they want to keep it moving quickly. They can bounce this back central. That's where they go. Working so hard. Motoring underneath, doesn't like it. Yes, no. Eventually it goes. Centered. Right in front of the end zone. Maybe just in front of the attacking brick mark. No more than 5 meters out at this point. But still, Panthers trying to hold them back. Dump available. No, he's in there! And he's found the gap! And he's found the window! And Munich take the win! Panthers are absolutely broken. But at the second time of asking, talk about threading the camel through the eye of the needle. There was not a window there, but if you throw it hard enough, it's always open. And M.U.C will take their place in semi-finals tomorrow. God, blimey. I'm absolutely spent. What a... Oh my God, I want to say all sorts of swear words, but I won't. What a game, Corey. What a game.
What a beautiful game right there. Munich at the second half, just taking points away from the Panthers, just kind of steamrolling, believing in themselves, believing in their systems. And look how precise that was. Goodness gracious.
Talk about zinging that in there. Maybe you could say, okay, locked in on the end zone. They could have isolated a reset, but God, the level of spice on that. That's like Carolina Reaper level heat on that throw. Absolutely leathers it in there, and it needed to be because it would not have made it otherwise. Oh, good Lord. What a way to end what has been a brilliant first day here of Ulti TV's coverage at Vienna Spring Break. And the best part is, we're coming back tomorrow. More games, semi-finals and finals action from both the women's and open divisions, and it is going to be a pleasure to be here with you for all of those contests. But that will draw an end to our coverage of day one here at Vienna Spring Break. And a lovely shot to end it on as well, with both sides in their huddles. Thank you so much for everyone watching, and a reminder that we will be back tomorrow live on ulti.tv's YouTube for free, as always, seeing some of the highlights from throughout the day's play here. Actually, that's on the far side. That's the grab that sealed Costa Rica's spot in the semi-finals. Ludicrous stuff. That's the sort of level of play we've come to expect from these sorts of teams at the top end of Vienna Spring Break. So we'll see you 9 o'clock sharp tomorrow morning, European time, with the first game. We're bringing you an open semi-final with coverage throughout the day, live and on demand for free on ulti.tv's YouTube channel. And if you've enjoyed the coverage today, we'd really appreciate it if you could sign up and become a patron and just chuck as little as a few euros a month our way, so we continue to bring you more ridiculous games like these back-to-back sudden death quarterfinals we've seen today. So for all of our Ulti TV crew here, for Nick, Mike and Felix, and for Corey Sostray, I'm Benjamin Rees. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you on the other side tomorrow for finals day.
We are a group of ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch.
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe, Ulti TV, the best in the world.
Become a member and
fund our
work
work to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the Ultimate world and beyond.